One, two, three, four!
Puni players, there's a mid-event edition, and while small, it features a giant purple monster. That means it's Robbett watch time. It's the 7 Deadly Sins Prisoners of the Sky movie collab event. Still, but we have new stuff. Specifically, Indura of Fate, the aforementioned giant purple monster, is here. According to the event notice, he's super cool. I'll be the judge of that. I'm only going to cover the new stuff here, since you've all watched my other video on the event at least 2, maybe 10 times, right? When you're fighting against Indura, we'll talk about that soon, there's a chance that apple pies can drop. If you remember from the other video you've watched 100 times, apple pies increase the amount of Y points you get for 30 minutes. So let's say you get Indura from the event gacha, since that's where you get him. What's he gonna do? Against Meliodas, he's going to do 16 times normal damage during Ohajiki. Against Demon Meliodas, he's going to do 16 times normal damage. When you're fighting against Indura, Gother Awoken deals extra damage. Against Indura, Dian S reduces damage by a large amount, and Gother Awoken reduces by a medium amount. New event missions have been added. Last time Robbett Watch left off, we couldn't move past the 3rd map. Well, here we are, the 4th map. And it has, drumroll, a boss stage featuring Indura of Fate. FYI, he's giant and purple. Before we knock all those sharp teeth out, let's hit up the gacha and get our very own Indura. There he is, the only SSS rank in the crank. Drop rate up, 1.3%. Easy. I'm now going to fast forward through 217 cranks, otherwise known as just shy of 100,000 Y points. Gold capsule. Who could it be? Can it be? Indura of Fate is a slippery SSS rank auto popper. You tap one place on the playfield and he attacks. His skill makes it so there's a chance that his puni will drop as larger than normal size, because he's giant. That's done. Let's fight. First things first, Indura's a boss, but he's not an impossible stage. That's not to say he's not tough, but he's not tribe restricted. Continues are allowed and you can't befriend him. Indura has 62,000 hit points and does 583 damage every 4 seconds. Rather than start with the event yokai, I brought all of the super boosters, Dandori, Dogushaku, Dare Falcon, and then for a little of that sweet tribe unity, G-Manhattan. Oh, and Indura. If I'm going to pay 217 cranks for a yokai, I'm going to use them. With this team, there are no bonuses, so he's going to do the full 583 damage. He can do that 8 times before I'm dead, so I have around 30 seconds before this is over. I'm going to methodically work through getting all of them up, and just in case, I'm going to do it reasonably quickly. Indura may be in SSS rank, but he doesn't have a G-Ultimate, so no extra puni to fill his soul meter. For the record, given his hit points, having all these boosters is way overkill. But I wanted to kick the tires on Indura and see what he could do. Also, footnote, I don't know if Indura is a he or not. I could say it, but that's pretty tiring, and honestly I don't know how Indura feels about gender. Alright, I get into fever with a little more than 1/3 of my hit points left. Dandori gets through no problem. After using Dogu's ultimate though, that's a counterattack from Indura for 226 damage. Likewise with Dare Falcon, that's another 226. Now for Indura. Oops, gotta actually tap the screen to start. Big Mouth opens up, starts sucking in puni reminiscent of a certain SSS rank Enma, but there's no tracing required. Hello, that's 941,000 damage, not bad. Also, Indura defeated Indura. But Robbett, how good are the event yokai? Let's find out, shall we, Robbett Watch viewer? I've brought Ugly Fukuro, Ugly Gargaros, Indura, DNS, and Go Through Awoken. Those last two are the only important ones. Full disclosure, I didn't spend anything on DNS, so she's whatever Soultimate level she ended up at through cranking. And she's level 1. Wow, this is a seriously pinky, reddy, purpley team. I mean, Ugly Fukuro is at least gray, but even he has pink teeth. I take the first hit, and it's 262 damage, so it's been reduced by 55%. That's pretty good, other than the fact that you have to put those yokai on your team. Generally speaking, I don't bring all attackers to difficult battles. Now I'm in Fever, but I don't have all my soul meters up. I work on that for most of Fever. Oops. Strangely enough, 2 Soultimates go through without any counterattack. The third one, and it's really hard to see, does incur a counterattack for 101 damage, also a 55% reduction. Unfortunately, 2 fully maxed SS rank boosters and Indura outside of Fever is only 31,000 damage, so I'm going to need to actually use Go Through Awoken. Pink on purple action, 26,000 damage, and it's all over. Top tip, if you put Indura of Fate in the center spot of your team, he's so wide he covers up 2 of your other yokai. I mentioned there are new missions, and all of them yield pretty good Y points. One of them is to beat Indura with King on your team and not continue. Another is to beat Indura using 3 or less Soultimates. Done. Another mission is to use only S ranks and not continue. Oh boy. Yeah, this one's a little more difficult. I had to bring a crack team of specialists. I introduce to you Pom Pom Purin S, Gargros Non-Awoken, Endo S, Mecha QB, and Dian S. At least I get a little relief with Dian S, since I have to do this without continues. For the record, she reduces damage from Indura by 45% alone, so Go Through Awoken is only doing 10%. Once I get into Fever, it's Pancake Dog Butt Shaking, Red Oni Club Bashing, Soccer Beast Awakening Madness. Mecha QB drops the mic and leaves behind 36,000 damage, but that's not going to do it. My non-leveled up DNS, that's poor planning on my part, only does 6,000 damage with her giant hammer, also not going to do it. It's getting awfully close to Loser O'Clock, so it's time to pull the trigger on Mecha QB without any boosters. 9,300. Good enough. With that, I've completed all the new missions that each give 150 Y points. Beat Indura with King and no continues. Beat Indura without using Soultimates that heal. Beat Indura while using 3 or less Soultimate moves. Beat Indura with S ranks or less and no continues. And lastly, I'm glad that I didn't kill him quite that one time. Finish off Indura using Go Through Awoken Soultimate. In addition, there's a mission for some Holy Exorbs for clearing 3 of these new missions, and if you clear them all, it's a 7 Deadly Sins coin. But Robbett, I really like apple pies, and the event notice says Indura can drop them. Right you are, intrepid Robbett Watch viewer. I've got you covered. I played 200 battles. 200. That gives me a good sample size to tell you what the drop rate of pies is. I won't make you watch all the battles, but here are all the drops, every single one. If you weren't keeping track, let me run it down for you. 6 marbled beef, 4 small soul secrets, 2 holy exorbs, and 4 pies. That's a 2% drop rate, people. But Robbett, you never talk about item drop boosters. Should I be using Synake to fulfill all of my pie dropping fantasies? Well, let's see, shall we? As far as item droppers go, well, they stink. The highest they get is B rank, and that's what I've brought. Badinyan, Synake, Badud. Then I've brought Dare Falcon and Indura. 200 more battles. Due to counterattacks, I had to continue on each and every battle, since each use of an item boost Soultimate causes 226 damage. I can't guarantee I got 9 item booster Soultimates off each battle, but I tried my best. And the result was 1 pie. I can't explain it. Befriending glitch all over again? I doubt it. Bad luck? Probably. only a single pie in 200 battles with item drop boosters. On that uplifting note, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please tap the like button 400 times for the 400 battles I had to do over 2 days to bring you this hard-hitting analysis. For all the latest Puni Puni info, subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitter. Until the next video, keep dropping those pies.